And thank you for watching the Digital Marketing Show. My name is Luis Xavier, and my team and I help business owners and course creators to increase their sales by getting them qualified leads on autopilot. The Digital Marketing Show is a project that has a simple idea but a powerful one. Add value to your business by sharing how our successful guests are achieving their goals, growing their business, and living a different lifestyle.
Are you there, Lewis? I cannot hear you or see you.
Hey mates, how
There.
you doing? So today
Awesome.
we've got the amazing Dr. Wasi. So he's a physician turned entrepreneur, business and life coach, speaker and head trainer for Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, creator of Make Your First 1K and Beyond, which helps new coaches get free Facebook traffic and get more sales. How you doing, mate? Thank you so much for making the time. It's an absolute pleasure having you here.
Yeah, I'm doing amazing. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Oh wow! All right, I've got so many questions.
Let's
So
do it. Let's do it.
yeah, how did it all start? Like, I mean, you were a doctor.
Yeah.
You are a
Yeah.
doctor.
I am a doctor.
So
Yeah.
yeah, tell us. I want to know everything.
Yeah, so my whole life I thought I wanted to be a physician. MD, I thought I wanted to practice medicine. And so I went down this path of schooling, several years of schooling and education and student loan debt and a whole lot of studying. And it was somewhere in the middle of medical school where I realized that my passion was really to help more people with how they think about getting certain results in their life, whether it's their mindset regarding any goal, whether it's money goals or whether it's business, whether it's emotionally feeling better. And so that was right around the time. So I basically continued medical school. I decided to finish because once I start something, I always like to finish. So I
Yeah.
graduated, I became a doctor, everything. But I started to sabotage myself, really. What happened was that there was one board exam that I had left in order to actually specialize and practice in a field. And I kept, like, it was just the hardest, hurdle for me to overcome at that point because I kept self sabotaging myself because on the inside, deep down inside, I knew that it wasn't what I wanted to do my whole life. Now, practicing medicine is an amazing thing, right? Being a physician is an amazing thing. You truly get to help people and heal people. And
Yeah.
most of my friends and many of my family members are practicing physicians, right? So there's nothing but respect for the field. But for me personally, I knew that there was a bigger calling. For me personally, I knew that there was something else that I was meant to do where I could impact people more the way that I would want to. And I knew that with practicing medicine, I just knew that for me and my personality and the things that I was passionate about, I knew that I wouldn't be able to help them the way that I would want to in that way. And so that's where the disconnect started. And that was right around the time where Tony Robbins entered my life. And so I remember I was sitting on my laptop one day, and there was a caption that said, "Make money doing what you love." And at first I thought that's a lie because no one makes money doing what they love, right? Like you have to go to school, you have to get a
Yeah.
job, you have to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw this guy with a big face and the biggest smile in the world, and it said Tony Robbins and Money Master the Game. And I was like, okay, so it has this guy who looks like he knows what he's talking about. He's talking about money. So I clicked on it, and literally, Lewis, that interview changed my life because in
Wow.
that in that 1 hour, I after seeing him, he's not. We all know Tony Robbins is one of the biggest life coaches in the world, business
100%.
strategist.
Yeah.
After I saw that interview, my world was changed. My brain exploded, and I thought, that's what I want to do. Like, this is it. I finally found what I want to do. I want to help people the way he helps. And I didn't know what life coaching was then. I didn't know what any of that was then. But that's what started my whole, path and rabbit hole down the personal
Yeah.
development world, coaching world, entrepreneurship. So there's two aspects to it, right? There's the whole life coaching aspect, personal development, which I loved. I
Yep.
always thought it was psychology because I didn't know there was a different name for it, but it really is coaching and personal development. And then the whole other aspect was entrepreneurship, how you truly could have your own business. You could have your own online business. You could have your own creation and produce money from that by helping people the way you want to. And before that, I'd never known that existed because there weren't any entrepreneurs in my family or friend circle who were doing anything like this, right? So it was brand new. And so that's how I basically got involved. And for many years, I was struggling mentally with, should I continue doing the medical path because my family wants me to do it, my society expects me to do it, everyone expects me to do it. And should I go forward with the coaching and entrepreneurship now, or should I wait till I'm done with my medical career and have some more experience in that? So I was confusing myself for a long time, and I was dabbling back and forth between both. And so I was miserable, right? And when I finally decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go all in with the coaching and entrepreneurship and see what happens, right? I'm just gonna put both my feet in one area and see what happens and go all in. So I decided to do that last summer, essentially. And when I did, everything just exploded.
Wow.
Everything just took off. I found people that I really wanted to help, and I was able to help them. I was able to offer value to them. And last October was when I launched my first program, Make
Yep.
Your First 1K, and things were never the same again. I was able to quit my 9 to 5 job that same month, and
Wow.
and it just took off. I was able to grow a 6-figure business literally. you know, there's people talk about overnight success stories. In the sense of me going all in, it was overnight, but it was a few years of me trying things, figuring things out, being confused, making mistakes. But I'll tell you, Lewis, the one thing that I think really helped me that I want to tell all your viewers is that I never gave up. Like, I never gave up on this belief I had that I can do something bigger, I can do something more. And I think that's the reason why finally, when I decided to go all in, things really took off.
I love that. I love that. I think that's quite huge. Like that, you managed to find something that you're actually really passionate about. And Tony
Yeah,
Robbins, like he's always right. It's crazy, isn't it?
always, always.
Oh,
Yes, he
it's
is. He
fantastic.
is.
So,
Yeah, and then
like,
and then
did you
speaking
go
of
to
Tony
one of his
Robbins,
programs? Like, how did that happen?
no. So actually, I actually invested in a program that he was promoting last year,
Hmm.
him and his partner Dean Graziosi, and so I entered that, and through there, I was able to actually that helped me a lot figure out what I really wanted to do and how to help people and all of that. And then through that, they had actually offered the student. There were several thousand people there, over 20,000 people. They opened up an application for you to try out to be a speaker or trainer for them, and that was such a huge deal because Tony Robbins is the reason why I got into this whole space. And over the years, I'd say, in my late teens and my 20s, I started to speak more for organizations. I became president of organizations. I would start to develop my speaking skills a lot more. I wasn't always confident in speaking, but now I am. And I learned I really enjoy it. I learned that I really like giving people a message, a positivity, or making them laugh, or giving them, some sort of inspiration. And so for me, after practicing that for several years, when this opportunity came, I knew I had to do it. And so there were hundreds of people who applied. In the end, they only picked about 50, then they picked 20, then they picked 8, and then they picked a finalist to actually represent Tony Robbins and his partner around the entire world as speakers for their stages and trainers for their workshops. And I was selected as one of them. And this happened last December, so it was so crazy.
Congratulations! This is
And
huge.
thank you so much, man. Yeah, it was a dream come true to be able to go full circle. Like he's the person that this whole journey started with,
Yeah.
and now I get to be a head trainer and speaker for him and his company. And so it's absolutely phenomenal when I think about how quick all these transformations took place and these results showed up in my life. But the reason why they happened was because of my mind and what I started to believe about myself and the results I started to create with my mind, which is something I teach my students when it comes to even making money in their business. It really all has to start with the mind. And it's just been a fascinating journey, and I'm excited about what's to come.
Wow. Oh mate, this is amazing. Yeah. So,
Thank you.
um, so how is it now compared to before? Like, let's say 2 years ago, because now you live in your dream. You're doing everything you always wanted to do.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Every single day feels like I'm living in a dream. Like every single day I have so much gratitude to God. I'm just like, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for all these moments because it just keeps getting better and better. Now, one thing I also want everyone to realize is that when you achieve this success, of course the success is amazing and it feels damn good. But life is always going to have some ups and downs, right? No matter what stage you're in. And so I think sometimes people are chasing, the business goals, the money goals, or whatever, because they think that's going to make them happy all the time. But I think the goal is not to be happy all the time. The goal is to be at peace with where you are and realize that there's still going to be good emotions and negative emotions that we face in life at any point. But I think the whole point of this is for us to grow as people. The reason why we should chase our dreams and make more money and create a business where we can serve people is so that we can become who we were meant to be. We can become the best version of ourselves. I think that's the whole point. And then obviously the money's awesome too. I love making money. I love making lots of money, and I like teaching people how to make money. And so, it's been absolutely amazing to be able to live the life that I only dreamt about 2 years ago. But because I started practicing believing who I wanted to be in the future, I started practicing believing, who I would be in terms of the coach I am and how I would help people in the business, how much money I would make. I started practicing these beliefs when I was broke, when I had no money, when I was studying for board exams and I had a ton of student loan debt. That's when I was practicing these beliefs. And, I thought I was crazy at the time. People thought I was crazy, but I didn't give up. I didn't stop believing. And I think it's that belief that allowed me to make the transformations I have. Because 2 years ago to now, my life is unrecognizable, even to me and to people who know me as well. And so it's definitely been a dream come true. But I think that the point I want to make here is that it was only possible, first and foremost, I'm a believer of God, so I believe that, God made it possible. But I think that because I chose to use my brain and to believe in something bigger than myself, I think a lot of times when we are having failures and we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, a lot of times we give up easily. We'll take a few actions and then you'll give up really easily. And I think that as long as you continue to believe in the end goal, believe in the end vision that you have of your life and yourself, you'll continue to be able to take action. You'll be able to face the failures like I did, and you'll be able to do whatever you need to do to reach that goal. Because I'm so happy today that I didn't give up. I'm so happy that 2 years ago, my past self didn't give up. I'm grateful to my past self 2 years ago that he continued to believe, he continued to dream big, he continued to take action. Because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be here today, you know? And that's crazy.
That's huge, mate. That's awesome. I'm so stoked. This is so inspiring.
Thank
So
you.
in this 1 year, like as soon as you started your training,
Yeah.
I assume that, of course, like you went through, some hard times as well. Like it's not always,
Yeah.
just like happiness, and it's not always
Yeah.
easy, right?
Yeah.
But because of your belief, I reckon, like, you were able to overcome all that as well. So that definitely helped you. But just for the people that are starting now, what sort of, difficulties you went through in the first year?
Yeah, so initially, it was back actually in 2015 when I was introduced to Tony Robbins. And so that's when I decided I want to be a life coach. I didn't even really understand it much, but I knew I wanted to help people. And so that's when I announced the whole thing on Facebook and I let all my family and friends know about it. I was really excited. And I mean, from then to now, I've learned so much. But the thing was that I stopped doing what I was doing then because I was still being drawn to, finishing my medical goals and pursuing my medical career. So I didn't consistently work on being a coach or the business. So there was a gap of many years. And but in then as a hobby, I would try to coach people. I would try to, launch a program or help someone or do YouTube videos. And I learned a lot from those failures, right? Even this past year when I decided to go all in, there were lots of times I failed. And so some of the examples of that in the past for me were, deciding to create something that I thought people wanted and working really hard to like create this program and making modules and recording it and everything, and then making the offer to everyone, and then no one would want it,
Oh,
And
no.
this happens to so many entrepreneurs is that they'll make an offer, they'll create some amazing program for 6 months, and then when it's time to offer it to the world and no one wants it, it's crickets, right? And I think that I learned so much from those failures about, really understanding that you have to figure out what people want. and then you have to figure out how to provide that solution to them better than anyone else. And then you have to figure out a way to market it to them in a way where they actually want it. And so, you know, I went through a lot of different failures, and because I went through those failures, I was able to succeed. I believe that success is built on a pile of failures. And so if you're not willing to fail, if you're not willing to get punched in the stomach in the arena, every single day in this journey of being an entrepreneur or creator, then forget it, because you're not going to make it, right? You have to be willing to take the rejection, take the fear, take the doubt, take everything that comes with being an entrepreneur in order to succeed in this space. And so anyone that's going down this path, you're gonna have lots of failures, but I think being able to rise from them and overcome from them is what's gonna allow you to succeed. Because anytime I've made a failure, had a failure, it was just data, right? I learned what didn't work. So next time I could try something that might work, right? And then if that didn't work, the next time I could try something else that would work. And so I tell all my students the same thing when I coach them. I teach them, like, all of your failures, every time you take action doesn't work. It's just data for you to realize, hey, this isn't working. Maybe I should change this. Or that didn't work. Maybe I should try something else. The point is to continue to take massive action. Massive action is continue to take action until we get the result that we want, right? And I think that includes all the failures and all the successes. And so if you really are going after a big goal, it's going to be like, failure, success, failure, success, failure, success. It's not going to be like one straight line to success. And I think that's something important that I realized early on, because I was following thought leaders and experts and other entrepreneurs and coaches who were teaching me the same thing, that, be willing to fail and be ready for the failures, but always be willing to stand back up, always be willing to learn from them and do better next time. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I've been told by some of my coaches that it's either a win or a lesson, because
Yes.
if you're failing, as long as you take this failure as a lesson, you're still winning, you're
Yeah.
still learning. So
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It's really true, because the business will have a lot of things that you need to overcome, and if you're not ready for it, it's probably not for you. So that's really
Yeah.
true. So now you are a speaker for Tony Robbins, and you're running the show as well, like doing your thing. On top of that, you have your own course and you're coaching. So how do you have time to do all that stuff?
That's a great question. A lot of people ask, and I have a lot of free time for myself too, right? If anybody
Amazing.
follows me, watches my Facebook stories, they'll see all the goofy things I do. So the reason why I think that's an excellent question is because, and the reason why this question is so important is because when people see someone who's succeeding, making more money every single week and growing their business quickly and doing all these things, they just assume this person's really busy. And what I tell people is that I'm actually not very busy, right? Sometimes I may not choose to talk to you, right? Because
Yeah.
my free time is very precious to me, but it doesn't mean that I'm working 80 hours a week. It doesn't mean that I'm not getting any sleep, because I get a ton of sleep and I don't actually work very many hours a week at all. In fact, one of my goals the past few months was to work 3 days a week. So I was literally working just Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And that was just a few hours a week, and I was getting everything done. And this month I have some bigger money goals, and so I was willing to extend myself a little more, but I still have a lot of free time. And the reason why I'm able to do that, there's actually a whole class I teach in my course about how to really manage your time as an entrepreneur and still have time for your personal life. And one of the things I teach in there is that you have to become really, really disciplined with yourself. You need to show up as the CEO of your life, and you need to take full responsibility for showing up when you say you're going to show up and do something. Because, if you were to schedule, right, you're going to make sure that you show up, because you don't want to disappoint me, or you don't want me to call you and say, hey, where are you?
Of
And
course.
so we'll always do that. But when we schedule something for ourselves, like on my calendar, if I put from 3 to 4 p.m., I'm going to work on this project, most of the times, like actually almost every single time, I'm not going to want to do it. I'm not going to feel like doing it. I'd much rather just go watch a YouTube video, or go on Netflix, or go grab something to eat, or play with the dog, or talk to someone. Like people will find a million things to do other than doing the work they have scheduled, because with themselves, they'll think, oh, well, I'm with me all the time. I can do this later, or I'll do this tonight, or I'll do this tomorrow. And then the tomorrow never comes. And so I think getting disciplined and showing up when you schedule or say you're going to show up is very important. So when I started taking my own schedule more serious than my commitments with anybody else, that's when I was able to manage my time very effectively. One of the secrets that I use is I actually schedule my free time before anything else on my calendar. So what I'll usually do is Monday mornings, I'll set aside 1 hour to plan my entire week, right? I'll write down everything on like a literally paper list, and then I'll transfer everything on that list onto Google Calendar. And sometimes it'll fit in that week, sometimes it'll fit into different weeks, even months, right? In the beginning, this is a time consuming process. It'll take a little longer, but the more and more you do this every week, you'll have less and less on that list. And so once I put everything on the calendar, I take the piece of paper and I crumple it and I throw it away. And that's the best feeling in the world, because one of the reasons why people aren't organized with their time is because they have all of these things up in their brain, right? They have so many ideas here, things they have to do. And once you get it out on paper, you can actually see it, right? It's out of your brain. It takes away the stress. And then when you can take it from paper and actually schedule it on your calendar, I use Google Calendar, right? Then you can actually take the paper. And when you do it, it feels so good, because then you know that everything's out of your brain and it's onto a calendar and it's scheduled, right? So that's the first part. Me scheduling my free time in advance is super important, because I want to make sure that I reward myself for whenever I'm working. A lot of times when people are going down this path, they want to, you know, they want to give themselves a lot of time to do something and they won't really schedule it. But I think that if I schedule, like, I'm going to be working today from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., right? And then from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., I have free time to do whatever the heck I want. I'm looking forward to that reward time. So I'll make sure I'm laser focused and I get everything done between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., right? So that's the way that I've chosen to program my mind and my time so that I can really enjoy the free time I have. Because if you give yourself all day to do your work, you're not going to get a lot of work done. Like, people think they're doing a lot of work. They'll say I'm working, but they're actually wasting time. And I've done this myself, right? Like on social media, you get a notification. It's like squirrel brain, right? And you have all these distractions. And so most of the times when people say I've been working all day, what they really mean is maybe they've done like half an hour or an hour of work, right? And so what I choose to do is, if I give myself short periods of time to do work, it forces me to get all my work done in that time, right? And when I say getting work done, I don't mean just, working on something. I mean, like, let's produce a result, right? Let's have something done by the end of this 1 hour, or by the end of this 2 hours. Let's have some creation, some result, some end product, whatever that may be. I think that's very, very important. And so the last piece, like I said, is making sure that once it's scheduled at 2 p.m., when it's time for me to sit down and do my work, guess what? I'm not going to want to do it, right? I'm not going to feel like doing it. And so that's when I have to literally discipline my body, like, sit down and do your work. Like, you're gonna do this, right? And so it's like showing up for a job interview or showing up at the meeting with Tony Robbins. You're not gonna miss that. And so you have to give yourself the same respect. And when you've committed to doing something, you have to do it. And so the more and more I did this, it got easier for me to do the work that I told myself I scheduled, and I would do it and I would get it done. And then it felt so good when I was done, because then when I had my free time, I could enjoy it without thinking about the work I didn't finish, or without having this guilt, you know? And so I think it creates true freedom in everyone's life when they can schedule things out this way and really be disciplined with their time.
I love that. I love that. There's a lot of people that, they work at a particular job and they have a boss, and the boss is just on top of everything, chasing them. It's like, when are you going to give me this? All that. And as soon as they have their own business, they're like, well, I'm free. No, you're not, because like you still need to put the time, you still need to do everything. And if you're not a very disciplined person, you're in trouble, because you won't get anything done. So I really love the way you do it, and I'm actually going to start doing it. I love it. Sometimes I get stuck, and what I do, I put like a timer, like either 15 minutes or half an hour, and I'm like, all right, cool. I've got this task, and I've got a timer, and I'm going to get it done. And then it kind of puts me a little bit of pressure to get it done. But I think the way that you put it is really nice, because you've got a little bit of forecast, like, of how the week's going to look like, and then you can plan ahead. So it's really good. So we're going to be wrapping up soon, but I want to know a little bit about your course. And I also have a link here. So I'll put the link up. Yeah, let us know a little bit of about your course, like what you're
Yeah.
offering right now. How can people be in contact with you, and what are you teaching? Like, tell me everything.
Yeah, I teach everything anyone wants to know. I'm kidding. so, so the best way for people to reach me right now is actually just through Facebook. Right here, if you post this here, and it's just literally just adding me as a friend, and you can follow me at Dr. Wasi Saleem. So that's the best way, and then you can shoot me a message if you really want to get in touch. Now, the program that I'm offering right now, and this offer may change in the future, in the near future, but as of now, it's a program called Make Your First 1K. And that's basically designed for anyone who wants to be a coach or consultant to really make their first $1,000, which is the hardest part, so that they can eventually then make their first 5,000, 10,000, and then continue scaling. And the reason why I chose that number is because there's so many mindset aspects and marketing aspects that a new coach or consultant does not know that they have to learn. And so what I really focus on is teaching them how to get free Facebook traffic, like really building those relationships on Facebook, finding leads on Facebook by using the power of Facebook groups, and really adding value, and then how to make offers to those people. And so I take someone who knows that they want to have an online business but doesn't know where to get started. So it's the full gamut. I'll teach them how to really narrow down their niche, figure out who they should help, how they should help them, because you have to basically have a solution for a really compelling problem that someone has, right? And a lot of people miss that part. And then the second part is obviously how to get the free traffic. And so one of the ways that I teach that is by giving results ahead of time for free before anyone ever pays you a dollar. And I think that's the best way to do business, is to give people so much free value ahead of time that they're dying to work with you. They want to enroll in your paid programs because they're going to think, wait, if his free stuff is this good, I can imagine what his paid stuff is like, right? And so that's the concept I teach my students. And then the other aspects of it are how to make those offers, how to actually get those sales in, and then how to deliver that for free without using any technology or funnels or email software or anything. Because in the beginning, a lot of people don't want to spend money on those things. People don't want to spend money on ads. People don't want to spend money on funnels. And so I show a very clear, simple way to get started and then to use that foundation to really scale. And once you join the program, you get weekly live coaching with me where you get to ask me any question you have. But the beauty of it is that even if for some reason you can't attend live, you actually have a chance to ask me any question you have throughout the week. So anytime a question pops into your mind about your business or something you need help with, you have an area in the course where you can post all your questions. And then when I jump on live, I go through every single one of your questions and answer them very thoroughly. So you really feel like you're getting personalized help from your coach. Other than that, there's also lots of bonus modules and other things I have in there to help people with different aspects of growing their business. I also help people a lot with their mindset, showing them how to think about money, showing them how to think about their business, because that truly is, in my opinion, the biggest part that a lot of people miss when it comes to creating results for their business. And so I call myself a business and a life coach now. It's because I really teach people how to think about the mindset part of it, but then also the marketing part of it. And I think both are required to truly be successful in business. And so that's why I Make Your First 1K program. And I'm loving it. My students are loving it. They're getting amazing results. And I'm looking forward to just scaling it even more and continuing to grow it.
Yay! I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having like time to be here. Like, I really appreciate that. I learned a lot from you today. And I'm
Yeah,
super excited, like, for your journey. There's
thank
like so
you.
much that will still happen. So yeah, thank you so much, mate, really, for making the time to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up now. But yeah, like, do you have anything else that you would like to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you first and foremost
Pleasure.
for having me on. And I think I met you in the ClickFunnels group, and instantly I was drawn to your energy and to you because I knew you were just someone positive who wanted to give and share value with others. So I commend you for that. Thank you for having me on your show. It's been a blast and connecting with you and stuff. And to all of your followers and audience, thank you guys for watching. And if, like I said, if anyone wants to connect, y'all know where to find me here on Facebook. Just click on my name, and you guys will be able to reach me. But thanks again, man, for what you're doing. I think it's incredible that you're giving people an opportunity to come on here and for other people to learn from them. I think that's very valuable. So keep doing what you're doing, man, and God bless.
Thank you. Appreciate it. See you, mate. Have a good one.
Bye, man. You too. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.